So one day I woke up and I started questioning everything. I questioned relationships, marriage, friends, jobs. And that was the game changer, because now, you see, in my mind I was thinking that I did not sign up for this. I did not come here to be abused. Video for the empaths, okay? Especially the ones that are waking up now. So I realized that I did not come here to be abused. I did not come here to serve toxic relationships. I did not come here to work for people that don't appreciate me. I did not come here to serve anyone that didn't even understand or appreciate my value. So that awakening was brutal. It was very, very brutal. So you guys are waking up now. Many of you guys are starting to, to get it. You're starting to get it. You're starting to realize there has got to be more. There has to be more to life. There is something more. That's not it. You just didn't come here to go in circles, start following circles, come back to the beginning, repeat, wake up, brush your teeth, put your uniform, go to work, maybe go to school, come back in the evening, remove your clothes, take a shower, sit down, watch TV, the new series, the Netflix. Back in the days, there was no Netflix. I don't even know what I was watching at the time. There was this national TV, so there wasn't any Netflix back in the days. And then, cook supper, go to eat, go to bed. Tomorrow, repeat. And you have been living like this for years, You have been doing this for years. It has been years, ladies and gentlemen. You are now 40, 50, maybe even 60. And you're looking back and you're thinking that was it. So that was it. That was everything about life. The only thing you could remember watching is people, cruising around on yachts. On TV, you saw those superstars, the celebrities, driving them Bentleys and the Rolls Royce. And you're thinking that, what are they doing different? So those guys that are driving Bentleys, you're working in a factory, you are too stressed, you don't even like your job. And then there are these other people who seem to be celebrated around the world, and you don't even understand. You're like, okay, so what else? You're a very gifted person. You're very gifted. You could be even very creative as well. But now you're starting to think, maybe there's something else you can do different. Because remember, you have already done these cycles for years. And life has always been the same. It has stayed the same. So one day you wake up and you start to realize that maybe you can switch up the game a little bit. Maybe do something different. Maybe create something. Maybe try to create your own label. Maybe your own brand. Maybe something different. There's a way. Maybe there's something else you can do to change something. Because you're realizing, awakening makes you realize that you're in a trap. You have been in a trap. You have been tied up to a dysfunctional family matrix that could dictate your every move. You're a grown-ass man or woman, and your family still dictates who you should marry. Oh, our family, according to this, that is the woman for you. That is the type of person for you. Your father even dictated the type of job you were supposed to do. Now you're realizing that the job your father told you to do, you don't even like that job. It's draining your soul out of you. You're realizing everything in 5D. So that thing, it can send something like a shockwave into your system. You see, I'm talking about spiritual awakening. I'm talking about spiritual awakening. That thing sends something like a shockwave inside of your system. I don't know what about you, but for me, ladies and gentlemen, life has never been the same. Everything is up for question. You're not starting to see your best friends. Many years ago, yes, life was okay. You meet up, you laugh a little bit, you go here, you go there. Now you're questioning your friends. You're like, so these people you've been hanging out with, they never even liked you. You know, they did not even like you. They showed you that they liked you. But now you're waking up, you're realizing they never liked you. Your own family and friends didn't like you. So what are you left to do now? That is something that actually triggers you to start unplugging. Okay, so for me, I remember everything vividly well. The first time I unplugged was the relationship. I said, okay, I understand it was all a scam. I let it go. Because now I could realize it was not the relationship I had signed up for. I knew that I deserved better. So I got out. Did I know where I was going? No. I didn't even know what I was doing at the time, you know. But I said, okay, universe, guide me. Lead the way. You see, I've learned something. Okay, this is very powerful. Listen to this. I have learned that sometimes, in most times actually, growth requires you to release what is familiar to you and you step into the unknown. If you can challenge yourself to do that, you experience the most biggest transformation of your life. When you can release something, see it for what it is, let it go, and step into the unknown, transformation begins. That is where transformation begins. That's what I did. So back in those years, yes, I had some little job somewhere. I was working somewhere, so I had some few coins in my. Sometimes when I say this story, people they think I'm joking. You know, people don't even believe me. Ladies and gentlemen, I might have had like $5 in my wallet. The other money which I had, it was the money that I needed for the taxi. That's all I had. I packed my last belongings. I called the taxi. I left. And again, I did not know what I was doing. I knew it was the right thing to do because the relationship was suffocating me at the time. But I didn't know what was next. So that is when I took my first step to free myself. And it is very scary, ladies and gentlemen. So that moment when you decide, you say, okay, enough is enough, I'm leaving. it will be tough because you're looking around, no support system. Maybe a friend might call you to stay at their house. Come on, I'll house you 1 month, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month, maybe even more. You may have the good friends. But in the long run, you need your own spot. I moved out, ladies and gentlemen. I found some small room somewhere. And the first thing I said, thank you. This doesn't look like much. I was used to living in comfortable, full, normal house, family home. But now, all I have is a small room. So I remember when I entered that room for the first time. So I was sitting down on the bed. I looked at my 2 suitcases, and I had in my wallet, I think, not less than $5. I'm not talking about stories, ladies and gentlemen. These are real stories. I had not less than $5 in my wallet to my name. So, but I said, okay, these are humble beginnings. We'll be okay. My life started, I sat down on the bed. I started thinking, so what next? Okay, family, wife and everything gone, what next? So, okay, I'm gonna do this one step at a time, So I allowed the universe to take the wheel. And I remember it wasn't few months later on. Maybe it could have been like 5 months, and we went into lockdown. But even before the lockdown, I'd already left the job because I was like, this job has been draining me for these years. I can't handle this. I left the job. So then we went into lockdown. So that's when eventually I was like, okay, since I have all this time now, let's do videos. Took out my little camera. The camera that I started with, a lot of you guys don't know this channel. The camera I started with, it couldn't even store 64 gigabytes. So the camera was, very low quality camera. Phone, actually, with about 64 gigabytes worth of space. I did my first video. If you want to know what I'm talking about, go back to my first videos. You will see the quality. Go back to the first videos. A lot of you guys, you have these Samsungs and all these iPhones and everything. Go back to my first videos. You will see. The first videos I did with that camera, you will see them. They are there. So I began creating. Awakening, it can push you to make the most critical decision you have ever made in your entire life. And you won't see this coming, So for me, what I'm starting to realize is that every time there's supposed to be an ending of anything, there is a new beginning being birthed behind the scenes you don't see. I've learned this so many times on my journey. The relationship fails you, your job has failed you, your car is breaking down, you're fighting with your landlord, Get out of the house. Hey, do this. You have 2 days. You have 1 week. I was given 2 weeks at some point, to leave the house. But the only thing, the landlord didn't realize that I was being pushed into my highest timeline. So I've learned not to resist change. Okay? I have learned not to resist change because now I start to see some things push you so hard into situations and places that only activate your growth. You grow even further. Awakening is not for the weak. Ladies and gentlemen, awakening, spiritual awakening is not for the weak. The souls that are waking up, those souls are very powerful. They have just been put to sleep, for the longest of time so that they could be, submissive, obey, stand over there, don't say anything, Sometimes you would hear things, you are nobody. I even helped you to date you. Sometimes you can date these narcissists. And then they tell you things like, oh, I did you a favor to date you. Normally I don't date people like you. I know you're awakening and you're thinking that you're the one who did them a favor. You was the battery. You was the energy battery. So you did them a favor, but now they've been telling you they did you a favor. You see the truth for what it is. So awakening is not for the weak, ladies and gentlemen. Awakening, spiritual awakening, it makes you realize things you couldn't have realized before. So this is like a little, it's like something just taps. It's a slap from the universe. Hey, wake up, wake up. Don't you see this happening? Don't you see it? Wake up. So wake up. It's a wake-up call. So recently I got in touch with some people that I used to know in the past. Family members, some friends. So we started talking. It's been like many years, 4 or 5 years ago. So we are talking. I said, okay, I'm listening. Say what you want to say. And they started talking about things that I left behind so many years ago. People, they are struggling even to understand who you are because you have changed. Some of them might want to think, oh, you think you're better than us. You think too much. You're too sensitive, So when you awaken, what happens? Okay, what I've realized as well. So you start to see people reveal who they are. People are like, you don't even have to struggle with it. Don't fight with it. They just talk and you just know that, okay, I recognize that. That's what I left behind many years ago. So awakening is not for the weak. It's not for the faint of heart. So when you start to evolve and grow, it can make you appreciate life in detail. It can make you to start appreciating even the smallest things. You see, just for you waking up and breathing, you're very grateful. Oh, because you understand there's people that didn't wake up the other night. So you wake up, you're breathing, you can make your own coffee, prepare a sandwich. You're very happy and grateful. There is things that happen when you wake up that you didn't even see coming. You know? It's not for the weak. Hello. Hello. Come here. Come here. Say hello. Hello. Hey, the dog. Hey. You know? It's why you see me sometimes I look around, because when I'm talking, some dog just sneaks behind my back. It is not for the weak, I can promise you, ladies and gentlemen. You know? And when you start to see and understand your life where it has been, you remember everything, you start to see that you're moving towards the right direction. But the first thing to do is to let it go. Let the familiar go. Okay? Right. So you let the familiar go. You let it, you release that energy, you let it go. If I didn't let things go, family, all places I used to live, jobs, I wouldn't have been able to create this life for myself. I had to let it go. Yes, it was painful, but there was no other option. Because you see, we have a choice. We have got free will. Many people will not tell you that we have got free will. And I'm not saying that free will is easy, because everybody knows that freedom is expensive. When you try to break free, you pay the price also, because there are going to be days when you're going to be lonely. There's going to be days when you may not have money. There's going to be days there will not be any support system around, but you are building through the chaos. But eventually, I can promise you, as long as you are stuck onto your purpose, the universe will pull up for you. The universe is going to align everything for you. So before I end this video, I would like to share with you some stories. So there was a time I left my job. So I didn't leave the job, I was sacked from work. I feel like my face is oily. I think I need to do some cleansing. So I was sacked from job, okay? And then I'm there now, I'm sitting at home. So I was thinking what to do now, so where to start. As I was still thinking about these things, I said, okay, since I'm doing these videos, let me do these videos. We don't know what will happen, but what will happen will happen. I just let it. Allow the universe to take the wheel. In those days, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't know what happened. I started getting blessed. There was miracles after miracles after miracles. Somebody just started posting money in my account. At first it looked like it was a joke. And then I started to realize that, it's like this person knew. At the time, I think, I felt like that person knew that I didn't have work. I didn't have a job at the time. It's like the person knew, because out of the blue, money. It was the first time I've ever seen a lot of money coming in at once. I couldn't even believe it. Time when I lost my job, Sometimes the universe is testing you because God wants to see your limits. Are you going to leave that relationship? You can clearly see it is draining your energy, it is suffocating you. Are you going to stay? Or do you want to go and take the leap of faith? So when you stay, it's going to be the same thing. When you quit, everything changes. Okay? Because now you start to realize there has got to be better relationships out there. There has got to be somebody who understands you, who can match your energy. You know, rather than you continuing to stick in a very toxic relationship, you're getting out there and trying your luck somewhere else. Maybe even just for yourself to heal. Because a lot of relationships, people, you can see them moving around, shaking, hand in hand and all those kind of things. You think they're lovey-dovey, but they even hate themselves. A lot of people, they're in those relationships, they even hate themselves. They don't even like each other. So that was me a couple of years ago when I was, you're in a relationship. You're worried about the relationship. You cannot leave. You are stuck in there. You don't want to stay, but it's very big mix. So whenever you see people moving around and you see them shaking hands and going like, you just have to know. Not everybody. You can find like out of 100 couples, you can only find like 2 of them are genuinely happy. The rest of them are just faking it. Only 2 of them are genuinely happy, I can promise you. The rest of the others are faking it. I feel like this thing is broken. I will together my chosen one. But everything begins with awareness. You understand what is happening. You realize your value. You detach. You work on yourself. You endure the isolation, the loneliness, and you evolve. So as a video for the, chosen ones empaths, I wanted to give you some motivation about this whole thing called awakening. That is what really happening behind the scenes. You have to know the awakening happens for you, not to you. It happens for you. I've told you many times in my videos, if I did not wake up, awaken at the time, I wouldn't be here. So the awakening happens for you. It's divine intervention, okay? So drop us a like, share, and subscribe. You guys know I do love and appreciate your support. Please, please, please book a session if you want to. You can always donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I will see you guys in my next one. There's almost signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.